So for Yzma, her objective is to defeat Kuzco with Kronk. Now she has kind of a different setup from some of the other characters. So instead of having one fate deck, she actually has four. And this is for each separate location. And we'll discuss that a little bit more, but basically everything can only be played to the specific location of the fate deck. And then you're going to place the heroes right here in between those two. So first you have to find Kuzco. And he's going to be in one of the different fate decks. As you can see here, if he is ever discarded, you're going to just shuffle them and deal them out. But he is one of the higher strength heroes. As you can see here, he's got 7, which is really, really high for a lot of heroes. But it makes sense because that's the only thing she has to do is defeat Kuzco. So there are a couple cards that help you find Kuzco, and Eavesdrop is one of them. This allows you to choose one of your fate decks, look at all the cards, and then put them all back. So when you do this, you are not putting any of them out. So you can look through them, and even if there's a lot of heroes that would be a detriment to you, you can just put them all straight back in the fate deck, and that's really, really nice. Whereas, I think this is another one. Yeah, so after them, reveals the cards in a fate deck, but you have to play all the heroes to that location. This is useful if you know that Kuzco's there, but otherwise, it could be really, really bad if you do it at the wrong time. For example, if the fate deck has like 3 or 4 heroes, you would then have a lot of them on there. And then smash it with a hammer. You choose one of your fate decks, reveal 2 random cards, and discard them. So this can help you get rid of some annoying cards, but you don't want to have to discard Kuzco because then he'll just get reshuffled and you'll have to go through the whole process again to try to find him. Now, Kronk is an interesting one because he is an ally, but he can be turned into a hero if certain things happen. So every time that he is moved, you have to put 1 power from the supply on him, and once there's 3 or more, you have to put him in the top of the board and treat him as a hero. Now, I think that there are a few of the allies in this deck that aren't Kronk, but Kronk is the main one, and so you really have to use him wisely and only place him down or play some other cards to be able to remove that power from him. We'll go over some of those cards in a second, but as you can see here, if you remove power from Kronk when he's a hero, that doesn't turn him back into an ally. You have to have the specific cards that allow you to do that. So one of the cards that helps you get rid of the power is the Path That Rocks. So this allows you to discard all power on Kronk, and then you gain that much power. So if he already had 2 on him, you can then discard that power, you gain 2 power, and now Kronk is a blank slate, and you can move him a couple times before having to worry about him becoming a hero. So the other card is Right Hand Man. This allows you to get Kronk back into your hand, even if he was already a hero, or to find him if he's in the deck. If there are any attached items, you also put those into your hand. So Yzma's fate deck, as we mentioned earlier, it's a little bit unique, but anytime that somebody fates you, instead of choosing from that 1 fate pile, they're actually going to look through all of the cards in one of the 4 piles and then choose one of them to play. If they choose to play a hero, the hero is going to have to be played at that same location as we mentioned before. So let's go back to the beginning. If you are playing it from this one, you will look at all of these cards, and then you're going to place the hero right here. So even if you find a hero that you want to place over here, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. So that makes it interesting because if you're going to want to play, for example, on this one to cover up their fate, or if you want to play on this one to cover up the 2 and the move, you're going to have to choose the specific fate deck that will allow you to do that. And then with the wrong lever, if that one is revealed, you have to play it immediately, and that will cause Yzma to lose her power. So when somebody else is fating you, then they don't have to reveal the cards. They get to look at them secretly, and so they can choose to play wrong lever, but they don't have to. And that's the interesting thing between the wording and the reveal part of it, is that when it says revealed, that means that everybody gets to see it. In this example, it says that they secretly look at them, so that's not revealing them, and they don't have to play this card. If the fate deck happens to be empty, you're not going to shuffle the discard piles yet. Your opponents get to choose from the remaining fate decks. So if the first pile is gone, they have to choose from the other one. But if all of the fate decks are empty, that's when you shuffle them all and deal them as evenly as possible to get the new fate decks. Okay, so here's a quick example with that. So your opponent targets you with a fate action. They choose this one at the palace, and they choose out of all of them to play Bucky. Bucky has to be played at this location. And then something to note is that there's no limit to the number of heroes at a location. You can move the fate deck to make room and offset the heroes so that all cards can be seen. Like this, you just move them up a little bit and make sure that you can see all of the ones on there.